Carmela, have you ever been to Austria?
I have.
When you were in Austria, did you drink any wine?
I think so.
Okay, well, do you remember what wine you drank?
Absolutely not.
Well, I'm going to bet that if you drank wine in Austria, there is a very good chance you drank the wine we're having today called Grüner Veltliner.
Oh, wow.
You want to learn more?
I can't wait.
Let's do it. Hello, and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair. Okay, a quick orientation for those of you who may be new to the podcast. In each episode, we learn about, taste, and review 3 wines that are reasonably priced, meaning under $20, and should be easy for you to find. And our goal is to have some fun, to learn about some new wines, and to talk about wines in a way that regular people like us can understand. And we are proud to say we are officially recommended by the editors of Decanter magazine, who call us fun, irreverent,
chatty,
and entertaining.
All right. And one quick side note that today is an extra special day because today is Joe's birthday.
Da, da, da.
Happy birthday
No,
to
that's
you.
it. I don't like birthdays.
I know you don't. Why do you not like birthdays?
Because like
honey?
I keep saying, my birthday is just an indication that I'm 1 year closer to death.
Hey, but what did your daughter say when you
She
said that?
That's true for everybody.
Yeah, she said it doesn't matter if you're 1 or if you're
So not to
50.
depress you all, but you're all 1 day closer to death. Okay?
Wow.
So here we go.
Come
Okay.
on, change
All right.
that attitude, babe.
Change that
Happy
frown.
birthday, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And now back to the show.
Okay.
Carmela, we are back again to our much beloved WTF episode series, known as the What the Fuck series. In case you were wondering what WTF stood for.
Wow.
And this week, as we said in the intro, we are learning about and tasting a delicious and underrated wine from Austria called Grüner Veltliner.
I'm so glad you were. I thought you were like putting me on the spot.
No,
Called?
I
Like
want
wanted
you to
me
say
fill
it.
in the
No, you
blank.
got to say. I want you to say it. Now,
Right
here's a
now?
little hint. When you say it, you just remember there's a little umlaut over the
my
U
God.
that makes that kind of U sound, and then the V sounds kind of like an F. So you say it, Grüner Veltliner.
Okay. Grüner Veltliner.
Awesome.
Do you have to like make your voice lower too? I feel like I just like went an octave lower.
I think
for
you
that.
do.
Grüner Veltliner.
Grüner.
Grüner.
Yeah. Okay, we have had Grüner Veltliner in the past.
Wait, are we going to make people mad by doing that?
By pronouncing it correctly with the correct
we're trying
accent.
our hardest.
Well, you know what?
We're trying our hardest.
I figure if you're a German speaker or you're from Austria, you will appreciate that we are trying to pronounce it correctly.
Right.
And we're only just barely making fun of it, but because it's not making fun. It's so fun to say.
It's a great
and just wait
word
until
to
I
say.
just wait until I totally just ruin all the other pronunciations that I'm not going to be able to
That's
get
on
right.
you. That's
Okay.
on you, hun.
Okay, but back to Grüner Veltliner. We've had it in the past, and we have liked it. But I will say it has not quite yet become a staple for us. So today we're going to try 3 different Grüner Veltliners from Austria, all from Austria, and we're going to see if we can change that. How about that?
Okay.
And as an extra bonus, all the wines we're drinking today are not only under $20, they are all screw caps.
Oh my God. We
Screw
have one
cap,
already.
screw cap,
We have
screw
one,
cap,
and
screw
Grüner
cap.
Veltliner has
Yeah.
one too.
Exactly.
Woo!
And that makes us happy. And that's not a joke. It may sound like a joke, but it's really not a
No.
joke. And even though I consider myself a bit of a wine snob, I am not a snob at all
You're
when it
not
comes to screw
afraid
caps.
to screw
No.
it. I mean,
That's
screw
right. That's right.
off the top.
Yeah, and
Wow.
along with Grüner Veltliner being underrated, I think screw caps are underrated, but that's for another episode.
Right.
We'll get to that later. Okay, so back to not knowing too much about Grüner Veltliner. I think one of the reasons that it has not quite made it into our close circle of wines is because while it's not super duper hard to find, and it's definitely not a wine that's very expensive, it is not a super common wine. I just wouldn't call it a super common wine. And it's not a wine that immediately comes to mind, at least for those of us in the U.S. when we
especially
think
'cause
wine. We don't say, I'll have a Grüner Veltliner.
Well, right. Who can, like, it can't even roll off your tongue that easily.
Exactly. I wrote that down. It does not slip off the tongue.
No, right.
And it's grown almost exclusively in Austria, and it's not made in a lot of local regions.
Do we need to give it a nickname?
Grüni.
The G.
The Grüni.
The Grüni.
Okay. So because there are not a lot of Grüner Veltliner wine producers in the United States or other like regions of the world that are local outside of Austria, We're not exposed to it very much. And because of that, I just think we're not as familiar with it and maybe not as comfortable with it. We don't see it a lot in wine lists at restaurants, and we don't, wine by the glass. A lot of restaurants don't have like, hey, you want a Grüner Veltliner by the glass?
Oh my God, they might
right?
start after this. Who knows?
Yeah.
Is there an Austria section at a wine shop?
Gosh, it's like you read my show notes, but you didn't. No, I was just going to say that. It's pretty rare, I think, to find an Austria wine section in a wine shop or a Grüner Veltliner. Like you can find a Chardonnay wine section or this or that.
But not
I don't
that
think you're going to find a Grüner Veltliner section in most of your local wine shops.
Unless you're in Austria.
That's right. But this is something I continue to bang the drum on, and that is our taste in wine is a culture. Like just culturally in the United States and in other areas of the world, the wine we select to drink when we go to stores or restaurants is so influenced by our regional and national wine markets.
Yeah,
so
sure.
it's not that we're offered the best wines and not that we're offered the worst wines. It's just that we're offered the wines that are often made either locally or are like very abundant, and there's lots of it around, and it's heavily influenced by French and French varietals, and that's just the way it is.
Makes sense.
But because of that, that's why we really love doing this podcast and why we love our What the F or What the Fuck series, because other than the fact that I get to say the F
I was
word,
going to say,
which I do love.
My God.
It's a chance for us to learn about and try and expose all of you in listening land to new wines.
Right.
And that's why we love it. This is a wine you may not have heard of, or it may be a wine you've heard of, but you're just not sure if you should try it. And so we want to help.
And you know what? Don't be afraid of the name. Even if you can't pronounce, just point and say, that's what I'd like.
I'll have the Grüner Veltliner.
This one. This is what, like
Grüner Veltliner.
No, you don't have to. But sometimes I think that's part of it. A little intimidated.
No, I think that's true. I think that's true. So, again, Austria, not a huge wine producer. It's like number 18 in the world.
Cold.
And ChatGPT told me that, so I hope it's correct. So, again, we're also just not flooded with Austrian wines. And, we're not going on trips to Austria. Maybe you did, went on a trip to Austria to taste wine. But I don't, most people are like, I'm going to France. I'm going to Italy or Spain to do a wine tour. Nobody says, I'm going to Austria. Well,
no,
not us. I mean, I'm sure there are people who do that.
Oh, for sure.
Even though there are great wines in Austria. This is supposed to be the greatest of all the wines in Austria. So
amazing.
We are going to do it, and we're here to change your mind.
Wow.
Change your mind.
Well, hopefully the wine will. Hopefully
the wine will change your mind.
Change your mind.
That's right. And if you drink enough of it, it probably will change your mind.
Your judgment goes all kooky-looky and sometimes that's what you need.
Kooky-looky, by the way. So, Carmela, I think we need to get started talking about and tasting and reviewing these wines. What do you say?
I am ready.
Well, first...
What do we need to do? Your shameless plug.
That's right. So first, we want you to know how much we appreciate you listening to us, and we would love it if you would support our podcast by subscribing. And we want to give a huge shout out and thanks to all of you who have subscribed, and we really appreciate you. And another great way to support us for free, along with subscribing, which is free, is to leave a nice rating and review on our website or on Apple Podcasts or another podcast service so we can continue to grow listeners.
And maybe wish Joe a happy birthday tonight.
That's right. That would be, well, it's not, by the time they listen to it.
That's okay.
It won't be my birthday anymore.
Oh, man.
And I'll just be one more day closer to death.
You'll just be like annoyed. You'll be like, oh my God,
Thanks
stop
a lot.
saying happy
Thanks
birthday.
for the late birthday.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, you can also reach out to us on Instagram at the Wine Pair Podcast or on Counter Social and on the Fountain app. And you can contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. And we really do love hearing from you. Mm-hmm. We do. And as we do every week, we'll tell you someone we think you should tell about the Wine Pair Podcast, which is also a free way to support us just by telling people. And we really do hope you are telling others about us. And this week, what were you going to say something?
I was just going to say, I had an idea. It's sort of silly, though.
Do it.
Well, like an English teacher, or like somebody who's teaching pronunciation.
How about a German teacher?
A German teacher. Yeah, that makes more sense, actually. But then again, I thought to myself, German, I guess they can teach adults who are of drinking age, but sometimes they're teaching high schoolers, so that's probably not a good idea.
Well, you could also, if you have a child who's a German student, taking German, you could say, ask your teacher if they've had Grüner Veltliner.
Oh my God, I don't know. That's kind of crossing lines.
Well, You know what? You got to connect. You got to find ways to connect. But
somebody who's into pronunciation, who you just kind of want to stump, that might be kind of a good one too. Like, hey, this guy thinks that they know, like you, for instance,
who thinks they're a super smarty pants.
Yeah, and who's like, I know how to pronounce everything. That would be a good one to stump somebody.
Stump them,
and then say, hey,
stumped.
Let's raise a glass to Grüner Veltliner.
Nice, very nice. And also anybody that you know who's from Austria. How about that?
Okay.
How about that? Okay. Carmela, let's learn a little bit about this wine with the great name called Grüner Veltliner. Okay. And most of Austria's wine production, you'll like this, is white wine. Right up your alley.
Yes.
And Grüner Veltliner is the most widely planted wine grape in the country. In fact, a third of all vineyards in Austria grow Grüner Veltliner.
Wow.
How about that?
My goodness.
Now, the other thing about, not only is it a white wine, which is right up your alley, but Grüner Veltliner is the style tends to be pretty dry and pretty acidic. It's just like we like it. Yeah. It's often compared to like a Sauvignon Blanc or a Pinot Gris or a Riesling.
Perfect.
Yeah, and a lot of times the description of the difference between a Grüner Veltliner and those other wines is that it's sometimes described as having spicy or peppery notes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that's kind of fun because a lot of times like a Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio, they're nice and light, but they don't have a lot going on.
No, usually pretty, a little thinner, a little like easy to take down.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. So these ones might be a little more complex.
Maybe a little bit, or just have a little bit of a taste profile that's a little bit like, I like the spiciness. Okay, so and then most of the Austrian wine growing region is in the eastern part of the country, which is where the famous city of Vienna is. And you did not go to Vienna, right? Where did you go?
I went to Innsbruck.
You didn't go to Vienna.
I didn't. We just went to Innsbruck, and
you just wanted to go to a really touristy kind of.
Yeah, it was very kind of resorty. It was snowing and a lot of skiers because we went at the end of winter.
Got it. Okay. Well, I don't know where Innsbruck is, but I bet it's pretty close.
I'll have to look.
The eastern part of the country of Austria borders countries like the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Slovenia. And most Grüner Veltliner is grown in a few regions. Why do you laugh every time I say it?
I don't know.
No, Grüner Veltliner is only grown, I'm just going to keep saying it, in a few regions in this wine growing region of Austria. So it's not, it's grown in a lot of places, but the most famous and the most highest concentration is in these little areas. The most famous area is called Wachau.
Wow.
It looks like Wachau, but it's
good
Wachau.
for you. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at least one of our wines today is from Wachau. And it's a little region. It's a small region in a little narrow area, a valley of the Danube. And it's sort of a transition. So this is why you might have been kind of close to this too. It's sort of a transition area between the Alps and then the plains that eventually lead into Hungary. And this is what I learned on the interwebs. Okay.
Nice.
So there you go. Now, Wachau is considered to be the most prestigious wine. I said prestigious. It's supposed to be the most prestigious.
The Grüner Veltliner.
It got to me. Yeah, it's supposed to be the most prestigious wine growing area in Austria. But despite this really high status, Carmela, Wachau only produces a little bit of wine. Only 3% of Austria's grapes are grown in Wachau.
Okay, one thing I've got to mention is, I was going to say, I know you like to, and I feel like when you learn languages, you do have to change the way you hold your mouth when you say words.
I don't hold my mouth.
Yeah, no, you're like kind of frowning or doing something weird with your mouth when you're going, Wachau.
you
see, it's true.
You got to do it.
Yeah, like when you talk
German.
French and you have to kind of, like with marbles in your mouth,
that's right?
So I'm noticing, just watching you, I'm just fascinated whenever a German word comes out of your mouth.
Well, wait for this.
Oh,
you
God.
Ready?
Okay,
so
give it to me.
In this area, Wachau, not only do they grow Grüner Veltliner, they also grow Chardonnay, Pinot Blanc, which is known as Weißburgunder in German, yes.
Wow.
Pinot Gris, Sauvignon Blanc, and a grape called Zweigelt.
See, you're doing something with your mouth to make.
I think I get extra serious. Zweigelt. German seems like a very serious language.
I don't know, but that's amazing.
Okay.
I wish you guys could see this.
Okay, I know. Well, and Zweigelt is a wine that I want to try. I don't think I've ever tried Zweigelt, so that'll be on the list later. There are so many wines to try, Carmela.
Yes,
there are so many wines to try. WTF, that's right. Now, other well-known areas that grow Grüner Veltliner in Austria include Kremstal and Kamptal. And I'm pretending like I know anything about this. Like, I'm just letting you out in listening land. Maybe you've been to Austria, or maybe you care.
They're like,
I'm just letting you know about
what?
it, okay?
Yeah.
But I'll just tell you, Wachau,
sounds like a
Kremstal, and Kamptal, they're all like little neighbors of each other.
I bet it's beautiful. I bet it's actually really beautiful. Why are you laughing?
It's beautiful. They're friends. They're friends. They're friends.
The areas are probably beautiful.
But you kind of get the feeling maybe if they're friends that Wachau is kind of like the snooty friend. Yeah,
kind of in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinks they're in charge.
Exactly. Now, Grüner Veltliner.
Back to Grüner.
Yeah, it also grows on slopes that are super steep. And I was reading about this, like they don't have a ton of soil in them, which is really interesting.
Super steep with not a lot of soil. Like, what is it, clay?
Yeah, or it's supposed to be very minerally and, like mountainy, whatever. So a lot of times Grüner Veltliner is described as pure and very food friendly and very minerally and very acidic. So there you go. And we like it's acidic sounds bad, but it's actually a really good thing in wine, especially if you want to have it with food. And it's most often a still wine, which means no bubbles. Right. But they do make a sparkling version.
Oh, interesting. Are we doing a sparkling tonight?
No, we are not. We are not. I couldn't find a sparkling. And it was hard enough to find sometimes a Grüner Veltliner.
To begin with.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you going to tell us where you got him? Or is that...
I will. Carmela, you act like I don't do this in every episode.
But I'm just
I do
anxious.
it in every episode.
Okay.
Okay. And then the wine, even in the still versions, the wine can vary between a pretty light wine to a medium-bodied wine. And I'm going to try some more pronunciation. So in terms of styles, you can look for wines labeled Steinfeder or Federspiel. And those will be lighter and crisper. And then you can look for Smoged.
What?
I don't know how to say it. Smoged. It's a richer, more full-bodied style.
You're good.
Thank you.
You're actually really good at this.
It's getting better. Wait, the stories are going to get better. So this is a wine that's supposed to date back to the Roman times, and it's been for a while around. It's been around for a while. It's indigenous to Austria, but it's only since like the 50s that it became really popular in the country. And then I'll tell a little story.
In Austria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's become even more popular recently. So its reputation has been growing over the last like 20, 25 years. And in 2002, evidently there was a wine tasting organized by Jancis Robinson, who's a famous wine reviewer, and somebody named Tim Atkin, who's probably famous, and I don't know who he is. But they're evidently two big names in the wine world and wine reviewing. And Grüner Veltliner from Austria beat out several highly acclaimed Grand Crus from Burgundy, which would be Chardonnay.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So
what a win, huh?
So this is a wine you need to know, especially if you're a white wine lover.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if it's even that comparable to a Chardonnay.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
I think an unoaked. No, it's usually not oaked.
Right. Yeah. So interesting.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you a really interesting story. This is only tangentially related to Grüner Veltliner.
Okay.
Here's the short version. In 1985.
The year I was born. Oh, no, sorry.
You wish. No. I was born that year. Okay. The reputation of Austrian wine took a massive hit when it was discovered that several wineries in Austria were using a substance called diethylene glycol in their wine production to increase the sweetness in the body of the wine. Now, Carmela, do you know what diethylene glycol is?
Something glycol. It must be sugar, right?
Well, I'll tell you. It's a toxic chemical.
Okay, great. And now you're going to put this in your body.
Yeah, and it's been associated with mass poisonings.
Awesome.
And it's sometimes an ingredient used in antifreeze.
No.
Yeah.
Were people dying from it or getting sick or what?
Well, they could have. And it generally, like you said, you don't want to put toxic chemicals that are used in antifreeze into your body, right?
Oh, no.
So it came to be known as the antifreeze scandal in Austria.
Oh, my gosh. What a story.
Yeah, and it wasn't super happy times for the Austrian wine industry. And so when it was discovered, they had to recall millions and millions of bottles of wine. A bunch of people went to jail. The Austrian wine industry collapsed.
Did anybody get sick?
Nobody got sick because they pulled most of it out before it actually was distributed to stores. Germany evidently did some wine.
Did they think they were going to get away with this?
Well, they did. No, they did. I don't know.
Are we going to trust this?
I think now. So thankfully, nobody got hurt, and thankfully, Austria learned its lesson really quickly. But it took about 10 years. It took about a decade for like the wine industry to bounce back. And the only relation to this antifreeze scandal in Grüner Veltliner, because Grüner Veltliner is not a sweet wine, so you wouldn't have added diethylene glycol to Grüner Veltliner. But what happened after this is that Austria, which focused a lot on sweet wines, pulled back and started focusing more on dry white wines like Grüner Veltliner.
So people wouldn't even suspect anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
So
they were like convinced.
That's right. And so today we're alive to tell this story because of that. Okay.
Well, in 1985, we weren't allowed to drink yet anyway.
And I wasn't doing any drinking back then.
Oh, true.
Yeah, never.
God.
Never. I don't want to talk about it because
Okay,
we're getting into my age.
WTF.
WTF. Okay. Should we talk about the Grüne Veltliner? I said Grüne. It's not
what?
It's Grüne Veltliner wines that we chose for this episode.
Let's talk about them, yes.
And by the way, all this information is in our show notes. You just go to our website, thewinepairpodcast.com.
The story is too.
Story is there and a link to the story. So there's all this information is in there. There's links to stories and articles. There's lots of fun stuff. There's pictures of me. No, there aren't. No, there aren't. There won't be any.
Birthday hat on?
Yeah, with a birthday hat on and bloop, bloop. Okay, anyway.
Not your birthday suit, right?
No. Carmela.
I'm just curious.
You are making this very blue.
Blue?
Yeah, blue. You know, they use that. You don't know. This is one of those terms that blue is often used as a term for like dirty stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later after the podcast. We've got some wine. Okay. So now, as usual, all the wines that we have chosen for this episode, they're under $20. And in fact, all of them are under, Carmela, $15.
Wow.
And we know that all of these wines are relatively easy to find because you asked this earlier. We got them all on wine.com. That's right. Now, we are not sponsored or anything by wine.com. It's just we choose
we like to buy online.
Well, also, we choose it because we know it's available in a lot of places. So one of the things we want to talk about is like, you can easily find these wines. And so that's at least a place that we know most of you can get wines and get them delivered to you. Okay. Now, we have bought Grüne Veltliner in grocery stores. There's a widely available Grüne Veltliner that we had. It's in a 1 liter bottle. So it's kind of a bigger bottle and it's called Lenzmoser. And we bought that in a grocery store, and we liked it. In fact, we did it in episode 29. It was in Wines for Grilling season, and you rated it an 8.
Wow.
Yeah, and I rated it a 7.
I gave it a little grrr, like a little Italian.
You gave it a grrr. That's right.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
One more note about Grüne Veltliner before we talk about these specific wines, and I butcher all of their names. The tasting panel, whoever they are, I've got a link. I don't know who they are.
Okay.
They say this: people need to pay attention to these wonderful and reasonably priced Austrian wines.
Wow.
Well, I'd say 2 things. 1, wonderful. Okay, that's up our alley, and reasonably priced. There you go. Perfect for the podcast. There you go. All right, here we go. So the first wine we're going to review is called Aichenberg Premium Grüner Veltliner.
That is good, Joe.
Thank you.
You have done well.
Aichenberg. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I like saying it that way. The wine is it's made in an area north of Vienna in a small area called Aichen. Maybe it's a little town called Aichenberg. Okay. And the winery says they make very fruity and elegant wines. Fruity and elegant, I don't think I would put together, but hey, you know what?
We'll see.
Yeah. They use sustainable farming. And it's supposed to be relatively advanced in terms of technology and equipment that they use. And this wine got a 90 rating from Wilfred Wong. I can almost say that. And he also gave this wine a 91 for the 2020 vintage. So I couldn't find a ton of other information about this wine, but they do have premium in the name. So it's got to be great.
I mean, come on. Not everybody gets premium.
That's true. Okay, so the next wine we're going to try is called Domane Wachau Federspiel Terrassen Grüner Veltliner. Okay, and this one has a lot of ratings from professional raters over time. The most recent was the tasting panel. Those folks, again, they gave it a 94.
Wow.
But over the last 4 years, the wine has been rated between 89 and 94. So a lot of really good ratings. And it's reasonably priced. And the winemaker says you should serve this well chilled, so refrigerator cold should be perfect, and we still got them in the fridge, so these are going to be nice and cold when we drink them, so I'm excited about that. And the winemaker is also kind of like bragging a little bit, it sounded like, on wine.com, where they said they kind of talk like the big dogs in the Wachau region, right? And theirs evidently is the only winery in Wachau with wines from all of the most prestigious sites in the region.
Wow, how big is the region?
I don't know. Kind of sounds a little braggy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell. They're salespeople.
Yeah, and you know what? It better knock our socks off.
It better.
Now, the last wine is called Pratsch Organic Grüner Veltliner. And as expected, this wine is made from 100% certified organic Grüner Veltliner grapes.
Nice.
And the Pratsch winery have been organic since 1995, and that's a long time.
Oh my goodness,
that's
that was early, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. And on the wine.com website, they have a description from the winemaker, and they talk a lot, not just about how they do organic wine production, but also low intervention farming and production, which means they kind of like to don't mess with the soil, don't mess with the ground, don't put a lot of stuff in there, just let it grow. So I can't tell exactly where this wine is from, but it's evidently from an area in like lower southern Austria in the wine growing region, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I hope that helps. If you know Austria, let us know. Perfect. Okay. So all in all, Carmela, we're going to be trying wines from the most prestigious area of Austria and Wachau, and a couple of others a little bit north of that and south of that, and we'll see what we think. Will be a good cross-section.
I love it.
All right. So I think we get to drinking. What do you say?
I think we get to drinking, honey.
Let's do it.
Woo!
We're going to take a pause, and we're going to fill our first glass. Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our first wine. I will describe it while you smell it, Carmela. This is the Aichenberg Premium Grüner Veltliner. It's from Austria. The producer is Aichenberg, and it's probably from Aachen, Austria. The year is 2021. The price was $11.99. The retailer was wine.com. This is 13% alcohol, which, is, again, a decent decent amount for a white wine.
For a Grüner.
That's right, 100% Grüner Veltliner. And Wilfred Wong, as I mentioned, gave it a 90. Okay, what are you smelling?
Well, it's pretty subtle, but I think I'm getting some citrus on it. More so than apple.
I'm getting apple.
You're getting more apple?
I'm getting a little citrus. I'm getting some of that like stone and almost a little bit of that. Sometimes with Riesling, you get a little bit of gasoline.
Right. I was getting that. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of that kerosene smell. It's sweet. It smells sweet.
I also kind of think it's a little bit tangy smelling too. Like I could say like a little bit of lime or...
I wonder if I'm getting also a little bit maybe peach too. A little bit of stone fruit. Okay, well, let's try it. Okay. Let's see what we think. Ooh, I got that spicy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's flavorful.
It's really flavorful. It's more flavorful. The smell it's different than the smell.
It's very different. It's different
rich.
than it doesn't remind me of a Pinot Gris.
No,
at all.
It's different. It's like a spicy, it tastes like a spicy peach or something. Don't you think? Am I crazy?
No, like almost like a peach pie. Like there's a little bit of, like you said, a little bit of spice on it.
Yeah, or a spicy cider. Ooh. Like a spicy cider.
Yes.
But like a pear cider
almost
or something.
Like, and also like something that has, what do you call unfiltered? Like it tastes a little unfiltered, like a little concentrated.
Yeah, like an unfiltered apple cider kind of thing?
Yes, yeah.
With a little bit of cinnamon in it?
The apple. I can taste the apple.
Yeah, a little bit of cinnamon too, I think. Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's different. I'll tell you, like it's I think sometimes a white wine, especially when you talk about like a crisp acidic white wine, you think of it as kind of thin. It doesn't taste thin.
This has actually, what did it say about the body again?
Well, from light to medium bodied.
I'd say this is medium bodied to me for a white wine.
I think so. I mean, at least it's got that, like, it's got some mouthfeel to it.
Yes.
Like it's got some depth to it.
Just enjoy this glass of wine too. Like this on its own.
It's a nice wine.
Is nice. It just sort of goes down nicely, but it has some flavor and body to it.
Yeah, it's different. It's not, to me, it's not a, it's nice and cold, but to me, it's not quite a summer sipper. It's got a little bit more oomph to it than that. I feel like it's I'm not saying it's not a summer wine. I'm not sure if you're sitting by the pool and you're just sunning yourself.
You're going to choose to have this.
Yeah, because this is not like, it's not like a real light
refreshing
Pinot Gris or something like that.
No, I don't think it can be compared to a Pinot Gris.
No, it's a heavier wine, but it's delicious. It's really good.
It's really nice. What would you eat with it?
I would eat with it. I would eat, I always talk about this with white wines, but especially with this, like a spicy foods, Asian foods, I think it'd hold up to that.
Yeah.
Fried foods would be okay. I think you'd have to be careful with fish. Because I think it could overpower it, and any I think it would be nice with cheeses, like a brie or something. What would you have?
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I could even imagine having like a white sauce with it. Like a pasta with a white sauce, or even like You know, it kind of reminds me of a fall wine.
I was thinking that too.
And I know we had it when we were grilling.
Yeah.
With that episode, but I feel like this could be something you would do like a squash, like ravioli.
I was thinking that.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know why. I just think that would taste really nice.
Or a mushroom ravioli.
Oh, that would be really good.
I think it would be good.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, it's nice.
Really nice.
Should we, anything else or should we rate it?
I think we can rate it.
Okay. So a little reminder for those of you out there in listening land on our rating scale. We rate on a scale of 1 to 10. It's whole numbers. It's not 6.5 or 6.3. You got to do a whole number.
Wow.
And if you rate it 7, if we rate it 7 or above, that means we'd buy it. So 7 and above is a really good rating. A 4 or below means we're probably going to like pour it down the sink. We're going to look for something else for sure. And a 5 or 6.
the Grüner.
Exactly. And a 5 or 6 means we'll drink it, we'll finish it, but we might look for something else.
Okay.
We're probably not going to buy it. Okay. So what rating would you give this Vino Carmelito?
So I'm going to
Remember,
give
this
it
is the premium.
Oh, this is the premium, and it's a pretty bottle, and it is a screw cap. Well, you know what? I'm going to give it a 7, but I may, because I definitely would buy it. I would, if I saw this on a menu, I would order a glass
Would you?
of this.
A Grüner Veltliner?
I would, and especially depending on what I was going to be having that night for dinner.
This reminds me of like sometimes we do this with Soave, but you know, like you order a wine and people are like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. I don't know. And then they taste it and they're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, everybody really does love a Soave.
Yeah, but when you order it, they're like,
oh God, I don't know about ordering this.
A Grüner Veltliner?
Yeah, like
I totally would.
I mean, no, I'm saying, but like for a group, I think we should. I'm just saying it would be a different.
I think this is a wine. If you have a white wine, even a red wine lover, but if you have a wine lover in your life and they want to kind of expand their horizons, like this is a great wine.
It would be a great one. I just wonder what people, again, like you said, sometimes with the Soave, people kind of look at you sideways, like,
yeah,
you
but
just
then they
bought
taste
a bottle for the whole table.
Well, I do that because I'm rude and I think I know everything, but they end up liking it.
Well, right.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Shall I get another one?"
Yeah, exactly. I like this wine. I'm giving it a 7. I can't remember if I said it.
You didn't say.
I'm giving it a 7 as well.
Good,
I like it. And like you, I reserve the right to change my rating if I want to.
You like me, you said?
And I like you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, let's take a break.
Okay.
And let's try our next wine.
All right.
Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our next wine. This is the Domane Wachau Federspiel Terrassen Grüner Veltliner. Now, Carmela, I don't know if you remember this, but earlier on I said there's a certain styles that indicate, like names that indicate certain styles, and Federspiel is one of them.
Oh.
And it's a lighter, more acidic style of wine. So here we go.
Okay.
Now this is, and it's kind of a pretty bottle, don't you think?
I love it. You said it looked a little bit like a Riesling.
A Riesling bottle.
I agree. It's very sleek and
it's
kind of
pretty.
elegant.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah, there you go. And so this is from Austria, from Wachau, which again is the most prestigious region for Grüner Veltliner.
Wow.
The producer is Domane Wachau. It's a 2020. It was $14.99 at wine.com. So, hugely expensive. Only 12% alcohol. The grapes, 100% Grüner Veltliner as far as we know. And the tasting panel again gave this a 94. And
wow.
I know, it's a lot. It's a high rating. Yeah, what are you smelling?
It's sweet again. It smells sweet. It smells similar to that first one, I think. But
yeah, I don't think it has as much of like a gassy kind of smell on it.
Yeah, it's a little sweeter. A little,
I'm getting that apple and citrusy, but again, a stone
spicy,
fruit.
Maybe?
Not as spicy. I'm getting some of that stone fruit again.
Okay, some of the peach again, you think? Okay. But yeah, I agree. I don't feel like it has that kerosene smell. It's a little bit...
It's lighter.
Yeah, it's definitely lighter, a little more subtle.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was kind of subtle too, but I think this one's, just lighter.
Yeah, let's try it and see what we think.
Ooh.
It has that same kind of interesting kind of spiciness to it.
And it's also like very flavorful. They say light. I don't think it's terribly light.
No, but I think that's the flavor profile, the taste profile more than like the body of the wine itself. It's just, it has an interesting mouthfeel and flavor to it.
It's got flavor. Like it's definitely, I wouldn't say they're overly acidic either.
I think they're acidic.
But do you think they're like a Pinot Grigio or what are some other really?
No, but it's pretty acidic. It's also got this really like, it almost has a bitterness on it, like maybe even more, almost like if it has citrus, it's like the bitterness of a citrus, but also has like minerality, like a little bit like licking a stone.
Yeah. now that I've tasting, it's like it kind of is changing a bit too. I don't know why.
I'm getting stone fruit. I'm getting like that peach or apricot or something in there. Aren't you? Are you getting that at all?
Yeah, the sweetness of it, I think.
Sweet, like a canned...
Right.
A canned stone
that syrupy,
fruit of some sort. Yeah.
Almost like a syrup. But
with a little spice and a little cinnamon in it.
Ooh.
Because this has baking spices. We had that spicy wine the other day. Remember, what was it that we had? I can't remember now. Last week, where it was different spices. It was like peppery spice.
Like a black pepper.
Yeah, this is more cinnamony spice.
Yeah, more baking spices. That's why it reminds me of kind of a fall white wine. It's funny that they want them really chilled too, which I do like.
Yeah.
Are you crying?
I'm crying. No, something in my eye. Anyway,
Are you okay?
What would you pair with this wine?
Well, I think a lot of the same things that we said before. I think this would be a really nice
pizza bianco. We might have to have a pizza bianco tonight.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
I think it'd be good with a pizza bianco.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think you could do a red sauce, like a red pizza sauce at all.
No.
I think it would really be off.
That's where the acidity... Now,
That's
think about that.
true.
The acidity, you'd
With
go,
the tomato.
too much acidity. Even though you weren't really thinking acidity, that's where you go, wow, that's not going to work.
Right. I mean, I do think like anything bready would be really good with this, though. You know, like a calzone, like a
Caesar salad, maybe?
Oh, gosh, that would be good with big croutons. Yes, that would be really... What about a cinnamon roll?
Ooh, it's hard not to like a lot of things with a cinnamon roll, but I could do that. I
don't
do it.
know why.
Should we try it?
This is kind
Should
of
we try
a
it tonight?
brunch.
Should we do it tonight?
You want a cinnamon roll tonight with
Let's
that?
do it.
We got to make
It's my
cinnamon
birthday.
rolls.
Why can't I have a cinnamon roll?
Oh my God. I have a cake for you.
Oh.
Can we have this with cake?
Yeah, why not? Let's try it. Let's try it with cake. Okay.
Yeah, but I keep kind of going back and forth. Like it's sort of a fall wine, but I could also see this for like a brunch.
Oh, a brunch?
Like a brunch. A brunch? No, a nice brunchy wine.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Like with like hash browns? Is that weird? Or anything
I
like
could do
scallop potato-y would be really good with this.
I could do it.
Cheesy
Actually,
potatoes.
So we were saying fish, but I think with like shellfish, I think this would be really good.
Shellfish
Yeah, it's so shellfish of me, but like clams would be good, shrimp would be good,
Ooh, shrimp.
scallops, shrimp. I think it'd be really good, don't you think?
Yes, I do. I really do.
Spaghetti con vongole.
I was just going to say linguine con vongole, which are clams.
Clams.
Yeah, I think that would like even like the steamed mussels and clams.
This is sorry.
Christmas Eve are really delicious.
Yeah, and this Thanksgiving wine, like this is a really good wine. This is a great food wine.
You could do turkey with this.
Totally. This is a great food wine.
Yeah.
Really good food wine. Okay, well, what are you going to rate this Grüner Veltliner?
Wow. When you say it like that, I'm going to get well, you know what? I'm teeter-tottering between a 7 and an 8. I think I like this one a little touch better than the other one.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah. But my rating and your rating don't have to be the same.
Okay, well, I'm going to...
Even though we are a wine pair.
I'm gonna give it a 7. Oh. I almost gave it an 8.
You are rude. No.
I'm teeter-tottering. I could give it an 8. We might come back to it.
I'm giving it an 8.
Okay.
You know why? You know why I'm giving it an 8?
Why?
Well, it's smoother than the first wine, and it's so food friendly.
Yes.
Like this is a wine to me, I could see like a nerding out, like serving it at a dinner and being like, get ready for your pants to fall off.
What?
I don't know what that
The birthday
means.
suit.
No.
It's about the...
I'm
Are you
gonna
trying
knock
to get
your
into your
pants
birthday
off.
suit?
Oh,
I think you're like finding
too
an
much
excuse.
Grüner. I might get a Veltliner. Okay.
What?
Hey, I don't know.
WTF, buddy.
Okay.
Where is this? What's the building on the label, do you think? It's a castle?
It's probably Domane Wachau.
Oh, right. Domane Wachau.
Okay, let's take a break. Enough of this. Now we're getting like totally random. Okay, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back and we're going to taste our last one. Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our last wine. And I will just say, you're going to have to look at our pictures on Instagram, but
we have a riddle.
We have a riddle for you. No, what happened? This has never happened before. It makes me a little nervous, but I was going to unscrew the screw cap. And instead of unscrewing the screw cap, the whole like unit, I don't know what you call it. The top didn't. Yeah, the screw cap part didn't come off of the part below it. It just kind of all came up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but it's a weird sign. Okay. This is the Pratsch Organic Grüner Veltliner.
It's very light.
It's very light.
It's funny. It looks really light in the glass, like cream.
Mm-hmm.
Not cream, but not like milk cream, but like a
Like a little
tan.
Yeah.
But it's so light.
Super light. Can I finish? Okay,
Well,
it's from Austria.
What are you going to pay me?
I don't know. The producer is Pratsch. This is a 2021. This was $13.99. We got it at wine.com. It's 12.5% alcohol. It is Grüner Veltliner, and as far as I know, it doesn't have any professional ratings. But Carmela, what are you smelling with this Grüner?
Grüner. I am smelling. Ooh, it's even
lighter.
It's even lighter smelling, and
it's even more. This one has almost a Riesling. This one almost has a Riesling smell without the gasoline-y smell. Mm-hmm. I think it's got some spice. It's got a little bit of peach or apricot, like stone fruit and apple.
Apple. I'm getting apple. I'm getting a little bit of pear. Mm-hmm. It has that little bit of sweetness of a pear. Mm-hmm. Even like a stewed pear.
Stewed pear.
Yeah, I don't know, like something that's cooked down.
Like maybe, a baked pear.
Yeah.
Maybe like a baked. How about this? A baked pear pastry. Would you buy that?
Yes. I'm just trying to picture that. That sounds delicious.
Wow.
But like a ripe pear.
Yeah.
Not like a tart green pear.
I don't know. I agree with that.
Really?
I mean, there's some tartness on it. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's try it.
Okay.
Oh, this one almost has effervescence.
It doesn't. It almost looks a little effervescent.
Don't you think there's almost like a little, it's super light.
It's light. It's a little citrusy, I would say.
For sure. No, it's definitely citrusy, but when I drank it, the first thing I thought was like, is it bubbly?
Yeah, it's a little effervescent. It's a little celebration-like.
It's different than it doesn't have that spiciness. It's like the tiniest little bit, but super subtle. It does have kind of a grapefruity taste on it.
And it's not, it doesn't have it's almost like a juice too.
Juice.
Juice. Almost like a Capri Sun, very light,
juicy.
not juicy, juicy. No, it doesn't have like, it's not hot or like alcohol-y. I know it's not super hype. It's 12.5%. You said, right? Yeah. Yeah, kind of.
It's got bitterness on the end. It's like stone, mineral, something on the end of it.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's nice.
Yeah, no, it's nice, but it's lighter. And I would say it's more of this is more of a summer sipper.
Yes.
This is less like the first two were more like you were saying, like fall, a little bit more sophisticated. This is more like a summer sipper.
Yeah.
Like you're
very
outside.
Casual.
Yeah. You're outside. It's hot out. You're having a little
light.
Yeah. You're with some friends. You just want to down some wine. Like this is a good wine for that.
Down some wine.
No, I'm serious.
Hey, let's down some wine, guys.
No, it's like, I hate to say it too, because I'm almost feeling like, gosh, I don't want to rate it as highly, but it's nice wine. It's just a different wine.
Yeah. It's hard to compare them. It's interesting I wonder how differently it was made or what was different about the grapes or.
I don't know, but it almost, what? It's funny that you say that. It's almost more grapey tasting. Mm-hmm. It almost has a grape, little bit like a sparkling grape juice kind of taste to it almost.
It does. Yeah. It's very good though. I like it. It's just different than the other ones.
I agree. What would you eat with it?
Well, I think you could have a lot of things. I think the thing is it's so light that it's not going to
fish.
It's not. It's going to be easy to. It's not going to be like the balancer. It's not going to be something like, like this really pairs well so much. I don't think. I think it's more like it's just
a sipper. Yeah,
it's just an easy to drink, easy to pair with.
I keep feeling like there's some effervescence to it, even though there isn't. I think it's like super brightly acidic. It's super acidic.
Yes, it is.
It's nice. It's nice. What were you going to say?
What do you think you would have with it? That would be different than like what we've been talking about.
Well, that's why I don't think I would put cream sauces with it.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I think it's more of a light food kind of wine. It's a appetizer kind of wine. I don't think it's a meal wine unless you have a really light meal. It's just it's really interesting. It's just a different wine. Oh, yeah. I was going to say it's also vegan. It's vegan. It says vegan on it.
Interesting. Well, and I almost feel like, this is something you could have like with nuts or fruit or something at the end, like. This
is a happy hour wine.
Yeah.
It's a happy hour wine.
Something.
But I think it's a summer happy hour. Like you're outside at a restaurant.
You could do like potato chips.
Nachos. Yeah. Without salsa.
You wouldn't want to do salsa.
I don't think you want to have salsa.
Yeah, even with
sour
this
cream
wine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Guacamole.
Oh, a little guacamole.
Be good with guacamole.
I wonder if they eat a lot of guacamole in Austria.
But they call it guacamole. No, I don't know. That wasn't even. I don't think so. I'm cutting that one.
What was that?
That was dumb.
Jeez.
It's a Grüner guacamole. Okay. What rating are you going to give this wine?
I'm going to go 7 across the board right now, but I think I'm going to do.
You're undifferentiated.
Yeah, I mean, although I could bump, I think I'm going to bump up number 2 to an 8.
Nice.
Okay, I think I'm going to do that and keep this as a 7, but I find it just very different than the other two.
Okay, I'm giving this one a 6.
Okay.
And I feel bad because I like it, and I would drink it, and I would finish it. I don't think I'd buy it. I think maybe in an extreme case, like, hey, I want a really light wine to like give to people, but I don't think anybody's going to drink this and go, ooh, what's that? I think they'd like it. And I'm being a little bit extra harsh.
I guess so.
But and so and if you like this wine, I'm not like great. Like I would drink it. I would definitely drink it.
Okay, first of all, they're all pretty darn consistent. Like that's the nice thing is that it doesn't
there's
seem like
no
you're
bad
going to
wine.
go
There was
wrong.
no bad wine in a bunch.
No. And the other thing is this reminds me, what makes it kind of different from the other ones, kind of like a wine spritzer. Mm-hmm. It almost feels a little watered down or something.
That's a good. Right? Ooh, this would be a wine you could put ice
cubes in.
Yeah, like if you have an aunt, like we do, who likes a little bit of ice in her wine, this is a good one.
This would be a good one.
Yeah.
This would
keep it nice and cold. Mm-hmm. Summer sipper, you're out sitting on a lawn chair. I like it. I like it.
Nice.
Okay, which of these wines, so you're 7, I'm a 6 on this one. Which of these wines are you finishing tonight?
Well, we might be arm wrestling for the second one, which I will not.
Say it.
I don't even remember.
Domaine Wachau. Wachau.
You didn't really give me much of a chance.
Try it.
Domaine Wachau.
Nice. Okay. And then what's your overall impression of Grüner Veltliner? Has it made it into the pantheon of our white wine choices?
I think it should be
I think
in
it
there.
Should too.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be looking for this at restaurants. Like I just am
looking for it.
Like
Linda,
keeping my eye out for
it. I'm fully with you, girlfriend.
Because I think it's a really good choice. And I think it could be one of those crowd pleasers.
I think so too.
And what about it comparing it to a Chardonnay?
It's different. No,
wasn't that
Chardonnay...
the second one? That's what I was trying to remember. The second one was like it outvoted or it was outrated. It outrated the Chardonnays.
It did. I would say maybe like an oaky because it's got that spiciness. It could be compared a little bit to an oaky Chardonnay, but like a non-oaked Chardonnay has a different flavor. It's more like a Sauvignon Blanc.
I
agree. It has a different flavor profile on it. Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of flavor profiles, Carmela, let's talk about the flavor profiles or the taste profiles expected from a Grüner Veltliner. This is what Wine Folly says: yellow apple, pear, asparagus, white pepper, and flint. And then some of the things, like stone, stone.
Okay.
Okay, so Aichenberg, Wilfred Wong said aromas and flavors of dried earth and ripe apple. And the winery says it shows peppery aromas supported by delicious apricot, lemon, and apple flavors. There you go.
Okay.
Mineral note under the fruit-driven body. For the Domaine Wachau, the tasting panel said, a classic, balanced, and stylish wine. A bright mineral nose that joins citrus on the fresh and crisp palate. The winery says offers distinctive aromas of green apple, white pepper, hints of mango, and delicate herbal notes. And then this Federspiel is a classic example of Grüner Veltliner. With its medium body, crisp acidity, juicy fruits, and white spice. I agree with that. Medium body. I think you were right. Medium body. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the Pratsch, the winery says, on the nose, the wine is fruit forward with a touch of apple, peach, and apricot.
Oh, wow.
With slight spice. Fresh and tangy, fine spices, white pepper, and round body. This one had the least round body.
I think so, too. Yeah.
In fact, it has a little bit of roundness to it, but I found it thin. Thinner, at least relative to the other two.
Exactly. In comparison, much thinner.
Yeah. Well, this was super fun.
So fun.
I love it. Grüner Veltliner. You must put it on your wine list, my friends, especially if you are white wine drinkers. That's right.
I agree.
That's right. And then we just want to say again, thank you so very much for listening to us and supporting us. And if you haven't done so yet, we would really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast. And also, please leave us a nice rating and review on our website or on Apple Podcasts or other podcast service. And again, these are free ways to support us so we can grow listeners. And we appreciate it so much. And we'd love to hear from you too. So you can reach out to us at our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. You can email us at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. And you can follow us on Instagram and Counter Social and on Fountain. And we just love to hear from you. Don't we love to hear from people?
We'd love to.
We love it. We love it.
We love it. Happy birthday, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just wanted to say one more time.
Yeah, tell me happy birthday if you want.
Yeah, that gets you to, Yeah, well, maybe next year on the same day.
You're right. But it won't be on my birthday. Well, just remember this. When we release this episode, it'll be just a few days after my birthday.
That's right.
That's right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And so thank you and thank you. And thank you very much, all of you out there in listening land. And we'll see you next time. And as we like to say, life is short, so stop drinking shitty wine. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy birthday to me. I thought it was dumb. Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Always think too much. Always drink too much. Always drink too much. Always drink too much. And when I'm with you too much.